Today we're going to be taking a look at the Anbernic RG35XX, and this is kind of a mini handheld that's sort of in the size of like a Game Boy Pocket, and essentially it is a emulation device. I believe this is running Linux or Android, one of the two. It does come in 3 available colors. We do have the transparent purple here, which is kind of that throwback to the transparent purple Game Boy color that we had in the 90s. One of the cool things with this is it supports a wide array of various ROMs that you can run on it. It's got various emulators, all the way up to PS1. And it is a very affordable price. I think these are around $70 or so, direct from the manufacturer. But let's go ahead and get this opened up. And this specific model, I believe, came with a 64 gigabyte micro SD card. And right off the bat, we can see it looks white, but I believe that is just a cover, which it is. It's just a protective cover. And there we can see the translucent purple. So very cool. It is definitely indeed very similar to the old Game Boy Color. We do have a directional D-pad. We've got our 4 buttons similar to like a SNES controller, our start and our select. And we also have a menu button in the middle. So very cool. And inside we can see it does have a rechargeable battery pack that is USB-C. So that is nice to see. And we do have shoulders and triggers on here. That is cool. And there's also a what looks to be HDMI out on the top. And if we take a look at the side here, we can see there are actually 2 micro SD slots in here. So you could essentially double up your capacity that you would normally see in, these kind of external storage devices. So it did come with a 64 gigabyte micro SD, and I believe this is preloaded with some ROMs. So be interested to see if these are just open source third-party games or if these are actually ROMs, because I don't believe they are licensed. We do have volume selector on the side. And there is sort of a recess power button here, and also a reset button. Let's see what else was in the box. We've got some alcohol wipes for the screen, and it actually does come with a screen protector as well. So it does come with that. And let's see if it came with any cables. And what we have here is we do have a USB-C to standard USB-A power connector. And that is so that it will work in any of the standard cell phone charger power bricks. It does not come with the charger itself, but it does come with the cable. Let's go ahead and turn it on, and let's see if it has power or if we need to charge it. Looks like it might have some power on it, so let's go ahead and boot it up. Here we can see there's a game room, there's favorites, history, search, settings. Let's go ahead and pop into the game room. And here we can see, so we've got PS1, we've got Vertical Arcade, we've got the Capcom Play System, we've got Neo Geo, we've got FBA, we have MAME Arcade, we've got Game Boy Advance, NES, Super Nintendo, Sega Master System, Mega Drive or the Sega Genesis, Game Boy Color, Game Boy, OG, black and white, PC Engine or TurboGrafx 16, Neo Geo Pocket Color, Sega Game Gear, and even the WonderSwan Crystal. So very interesting. We do have a vast array. So let's go ahead, and here we can see at the top, this is from the built-in card. Let's go ahead and check PS1. And it looks like this is preloaded with official game ROMs. Very interesting. So let's see what we have on here. It looks like we've got a nice array of games that are preloaded on here. Wow. So we've got Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And I do like the scrolling text. A lot of these systems don't have that scrolling option. It just cuts off the name, so that is nice to see. We've got Tekken 3, Resident Evil 3, Crash Bash, and then we've got Crash Bandicoot 2 and Crash Bandicoot 3. Interesting that we don't have the original Crash Bandicoot there. Dino Crisis 2, Contra Adventure, Silent Hill, obviously a classic there, Bomberman World, Colony Wars, Command & Conquer Red Alert, Digimon World 3, Dino Crisis, Tarzan, Driver 2, Fighting Force, the original Gran Turismo, so that's definitely cool to see there. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, International Superstar Soccer, Marvel versus Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, Medal of Honor Underground, Mega Man X6, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Resident Evil, the original, Rival Schools Evolution, we've got Spider-Man 2, let's just scroll down a little bit, we've got King of Fighters, we've got, oh wow, we've got the first two Tomb Raiders on here, Twisted Metal 2, Xenogears, Bloody Roars, Dragon Ball GT, couple Final Fantasy games, Medal of Honor, we also have a Need for Speed, we've got Rayman, Pac-Man World 20th Anniversary, Ridge Racer 1, Ridge Racer 4, and we also have Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. So very nice. Let's jump on over to the Genesis and let's see what we have on here. Alright, very cool. So we've got Sonic 1, 2, 3. We've got 3D Blast. We have Sonic and Knuckles. We have Sonic and Knuckles 2. We've got Sonic Amy Rose. King of Fighters 98, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. We've got the first 3 Golden Axes. We've got Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, and 5. So here you're saying a lot of unofficial games as well. Contra Hard Corp's nice. Vector Man, fan favorite there. Animaniacs, Forgotten Roads. The first 2 Road Rashes. Streets of Rage, the original, nice. Gunstar Superheroes. Blaster Master 2. We've also got Battletoads. WWF Super WrestleMania. So we can see a wider range of games that are available. Now one of the things I noticed, go ahead and turn the volume down a little bit here, is that once I got past, let's see where it was. Once I got past game 53, then there were no more screenshots or cover art. So I'll have to check the SD card and see, and the settings, see the reason for that. Maybe they just weren't preloaded, or maybe there is a limitation, so we'll have to look into that. If we go ahead and launch Battletoads. And if we want to get back out, we can just hit Menu, Exit Game. And let's see what NES games are on here real quick. We've got the Contras, we've got the Double Dragons, we've got Rockman, which is obviously the international version of Mega Man. We've got all 3 TMNT games. Nice. Got the Ninja Gaidens. We even have Battletoads and Double Dragon. That's a nice one. And once again, here you can see no more cover art once we got past the first few menus. So once we got past game 37. So I'm guessing that they probably just didn't preload all the cover art. Let's go ahead and go back. Let's check MAME real quick. Let's just see what we have here. Okay, not bad. So they do preload 69 MAME games. So we do have a vast variety of games. Let's just fire up Sonic 1 and let's see if there's any type of lag or anything. Let's just see how the game plays. Everything looks pretty good. So Sonic does look good. Let's go ahead and exit out. No type of lag or anything. Everything was really seamless in that. Really happy with the response times. Let's try a PS1 game. And let's just try Tekken 3. So overall, the response times look pretty good. I'm not really seeing any lag on the PS1 side. So everything's actually looking pretty good. So very good. So even pressing just the start button to skip the menu, everything is really fast, really smooth operating. So from a first impression standpoint, everything's looking really good. I am really happy with this. So my next steps are going to be to load up this micro SD card with a bunch of games and test out a bunch of PS1 games and just various games. We're going to load up hopefully the full libraries of everything between the 2 SD cards. But before we end the video, I do want to go back and take a look at the settings, right? So we took a look at the game room, which is just your overall listing of everything on the system. You can also favorite those games. You can view a history of everything you've played if you want to revisit those. So that's a quick way to access, your previous game, anything like that. There's also a search function, which is really cool to see. And then if we hop over to the settings, like we can see the battery. So we're at 48% capacity. Turn off the system from there. You can set the date time. You can even run an I/O test to check the status of the SD cards to make sure they're not degrading or getting corrupted in any way. Here you can see the firmware version as well. This way you can see if you want to upgrade it to a newer version. So as you can see, the firmware we are currently running is from December 23rd of last year. So we will have to hop on over to their website and see if there is a firmware update. but overall, the settings are your typical settings. You do have the ability to clear favorites and also clear your history. So that's pretty much it for first impressions. As I mentioned, I will be loading these up with some games. We will be getting, obviously, the battery charge, and we're going to be running through some of these, seeing how the system actually operates if we load up pretty much like every game on every platform with images, everything like that. And let's see if it's still responsive. Typically, what I notice from a lot of emulation systems is the menus become very sluggish once you have a whole lot of games in those menus. So I'm interested to see how this performs. I'm interested to see if we can actually load up all these libraries across the two micro SDs and see how everything performs. So we'll be doing that in a future video. For today, we just wanted to kind of do the unboxing, first impressions, and just give you my initial thoughts on what I think of it. So far, it looks like an excellent handheld system for emulation.